guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today guest is no other but my friend Kadir. Kadir, can you please introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Mohammed Kadir, but you can call me Kadir, and I've been living in Russia for the past 6 years.
How old were you when you came to Russia and how old are you now?
I was 19 when I came, and now I'm 25.
Oh, that's so many years. How did you make up your mind to come to Russia?
Well, actually, it all started through my dad. I graduated high school back in 2015, Ghana Secondary Technical School, and then I had a scholarship to study languages, which African parents, being African parents, they will always want their child to be a doctor, an engineer, or something. So he told me studying languages is not worth wasting time over. So I stayed home for 2 years, and then 2017, I was like, okay, Dad, let me go and do IT. And he was like, perfect. I want you to be a programmer. Then here I am.
So why did you choose Russia? Why did you choose to study in Russia?
I chose Russia because of the cost of study. Compared to other European countries, it's much cheaper.
What was it like to study at Russia as an international student?
Trust me, the first few years were very difficult, especially when you realize that there is a language barrier.
Difficulties did you face?
Or a lot, actually, a lot. I mean, me coming to Russia, I was thinking I was going to study my course in English, but when I came, I realized I had to do a preparatory course for 1 year in Russian language, and then switch to Russian language to study the 4 year course, which is the bachelor. So when I first came, people couldn't understand me, and I couldn't understand them because I didn't understand the Russian, and neither did they understand the English. So buying stuffs or going out to get something from the supermarket, or I don't know, like just making friends was even difficult. But with time, let me say 6 to 7 months, you start speaking it, and then things become easier.
Oh, that's very nice. Did the weather at any chance affected you?
Oh my God. Talking about the weather, like me, I'm a West African. I mean, I like the sun, and coming here, when I came, it was in September, it was okay. And then we entered fall, which was the October, November. You just don't believe it. When it go to -10, I was shivering like a chicken in rain. Like,
oh my God.
you just don't know. Like, I was shivering a lot. And also, when it get to -20, which is like February and late January, it's really, really cold. And you can just imagine, like, your first time being in such a weather. It's kind of difficult. Yeah.
You mentioned that you're from West Africa. Which country are you from exactly?
I'm from Ghana, the oil city, Takrady.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Did you live in an apartment or a dormitory during your studies?
No, I lived in dormitory because that was what the school provided, and it was cheaper compared to renting an apartment and stuff. Yeah, the dormitory usually is for 2 or 3 people, and then you just share the room. So it was okay, financially wise, yeah.
How much was it like? Maybe like per year or per month?
It was close to like $80 to $70 per year. Yeah.
And which city did you study in?
I studied in Kaliningrad State Technical. I studied in Kaliningrad City.
And the university, Kaliningrad State?
Yeah, the university is called Kaliningrad State Technical University.
Why did you choose the city?
Well, I chose the city because of its geographical location. Actually, before moving to Russia, I heard a whole lot of stereotypes about Russians. Like, let's say, they ride bears on the streets or something like that. Same way the whites have stereotypes about Africans, like we are walking with arrows, we don't have clothes, like those types. It also exists like in Russia also, when you are coming, they will be like, hey, when you come, you're gonna see people with guns or something like that. So I was like, okay, fine. How about a city that is actually close to Europe? Maybe I'll get a feel of the European vibe. So that was what motivated me to even come to Kaliningrad. And trust me, I don't regret my decision actually. It's cool and it's a very small, tiny landlocked area, which like it's kind of cool. The people are friendly too. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Did you speak Russian before coming to Russia?
No. The only language I was speaking was English and French. And French, I learned it in high school. Actually, I love languages, but Russian wasn't something I knew.
Was it difficult to learn the language?
Trust me, it was difficult. It was really, really difficult. There were some words that, you just have to twist your lips some way before you say something. Like, it was difficult, but, well, with time you get adjusted to it, and then when you make friends and stuff, they teach you, then it becomes easy. But it's difficult, I won't lie.
Can you please explain to our viewers, like, are there some like tips that help you while learning the language? What really help you?
Actually, I just use the same tip as learning French. When I was in high school, I used to listen to music a lot. I had this teacher who taught me French, and she was like, since you love music, how about you start listening to music in that language that you are learning? So I started listening to loud music about in French, sorry, and then rap and everything. So through the music, through their movies and a whole lot of stuff, I just picked a word or two. When I don't understand it, I jot it down and then I look for it in the dictionary, and then that's it. I became, good.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Did you study in English or Russian?
In Russian, and it was hectic.
Oh my
I
god.
quite remember one time there was a teacher who was like, can you do this work? I was like, no, I can't. She was speaking to me, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. Deep down, I knew the work was easy, but because she was explaining it in a different language, I couldn't understand it. She was like, okay, then why did you even come to this country in the first place if you know it's going to be difficult? Like, I really felt stupid. That was the first time that I felt that way in my life. But all the same, it's okay.
So it was like learning something new in the new language.
Yeah, it was like learning something new in a new language. It's more or less like a challenge actually when you think about it, because you are always challenging yourself to like go to the limit, to your maximum limit actually. So day in, day out, you put in work, and then yeah, that's it.
Very nice. So I will be asking questions about your life in Russia.
Wow. Okay.
Can you compare your life in Russia to that of Ghana? Like, what's the difference?
Actually, when I was in Ghana, I was young. I left the country when I was 19.
To Russia?
Yeah, I left the country when I was 19. And then when I came here, I'll still say I was young. Life was good in Ghana. Like, I wasn't doing anything. I was just helping my dad out at his work site. He had this shop that I was helping him sell stuff. And then I had friends who were all over. Like, weekends we play football, or we go out, we go to the sea. But coming here, I lost all those contacts, and then the vibe wasn't just the same. Like, when you live with someone for long, you grow on the person, and then you leaving the person behind definitely takes a toll on you. So making friends here was really, really difficult for me. And then one thing that I would say is like, let's say when you miss your friends or anything, you just feel so sad. Like, it took a toll on me. I won't lie, it took me like 3 to 4 months before I started getting back to myself when I left Ghana. So yeah, that's what I can say.
How did you sustain yourself? Like, how did you get money? Did you work, or was there part-time jobs? Were you allowed to work when you came?
Actually, first year when I came, because I couldn't understand the language, I was relying on my family to support me. But once I started speaking the language, and then the Russian government, thank him though, he passed the law for all foreign students to be able to work.
And which year was that?
I think that's after Corona, like 2021.
Which year did you come to Russia?
I came in 2017. I was working though, but it was like underground, illegal. But once they passed the law in 2021, I was like, okay, fine. Since they've let the cat out of the bag, why don't I go full time? So I was like working like crazy, and it was my final year. You know, European schools and also schools in Africa, when you're in your third year, classes, it's not like too much. So you get a whole lot of free time. So during my third year, that was when I worked the most. Like I worked the most online. So that was how I was taking care of myself and also paying my tuition and stuff. But the first year, it was really difficult because you have to ask yourself this question: where are you going to search the work? And also, which language are you going to use to communicate when you go to the work? First, you don't understand the language, and second, you just came, and three, there isn't a law that will permit you to work. So once you learn the language, and then the second question, which is like, once they pass the law, you can work. You can choose to like even go overtime. I think the minimum working hours for a student was 40, but trust me, I was doing 100 or 120 a week. So that's basically it. Because like we Africans, we understand where we are coming from, and since we don't want to be a burden to our parents and stuff, we literally go all out when we get a job or something. So that was how I was sustaining myself.
That's really very nice. Very good.
Okay.
What's your favorite Russian food?
Trust me, I know people will be bashing me for this, but I don't have a favorite Russian food.
Oh my god.
I don't have like a favorite Russian food. I think there is this food called plov. It's from Uzbekistan actually, but Russians have adopted it as if it's theirs. So that's basically what I eat. But it's not Russian. There's contradiction though, but actually it's not Russian. It's an Uzbekistan food.
The plov is like what, mixture of what?
Well, the plov is just like cooking jollof with the exception of tomato sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, but the process is the same. You add spices, meat, and whatever, with the exception of just tomato paste. When there's tomato paste in jollof, it looks reddish yellow, but with the plov, it's just yellowish.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Russian music or like the musician?
Well, I have a lot. Like when I was learning the languages, Russian language, I used to listen to Polina Gagarina. But once I started understanding the language and then I started making friends, I stopped listening to Polina Gagarina because I was like, maybe this one, she sings about love or something, so let me just straight to the rap side. So I started listening to Igor Creed, Miyagi, Enspiel. Yeah, but I think out of them all, my favorite will always be Igor Creed.
Can you sing one of his songs?
There was this song actually. It said Yasnovadim with the Lambo. Like, yeah, that song I really like it. I won't lie. And also I just like him because he uses English in some of the songs. It makes you, the listener, understand what he's trying to say. Even if you won't get like 100% of what he's saying, you will definitely get at least like 40 or 50%. That makes him stand out for me.
That's very nice. I'm going to listen to his songs just after this.
Alright. You will love it.
Were you able to relate with the Russians and make friends, or was it very difficult?
Well, actually, it depends on the type of person that you are. Me being an extrovert, trust me, I joke around, I fool around, and then it's easy for me to make friends. But if you're an introvert, it will be difficult for you to make friends. But if you drink, that's it, you are done. You can go to a club. You being a black person, you trust me, you will not spend any money on drink.
Oh my god.
Rather, people will be calling you and be asking you to take a shot with them. I don't know, maybe it's kind of like something new for them. Like the same way that when we are in Africa, we see white people, we are like, hey. In Ghana, we say, hey, brony. Brony basically means like, hey, white man. That's the same thing that they call you here. Like, hey, chorny, or hey, brat, this, that, hey. Like they are, trying to give you drinks and stuff. So Actually, Russians, I think, I wouldn't say they are not easygoing. They are really, really easygoing when they know you, but when they don't know you, they don't know how to behave or relate with you.
Exactly.
They are like scared to like say something which might seem offensive to you, so they don't actually know how to relate with you for the first time. But once they realize, oh, when I go this way, I can talk to you, it's very easy for them to make friends with you. Me personally, I don't drink, but if I drink, if like I used to drink, trust me, I would have qualified from drinking to drunkard. Let me say it that way.
But even though did you manage to make friends?
Yeah, I made friends at work. I made friends, and then in club too, I made friends. Like basically, the friends that you make more would be the female ones. Trust me, especially the ones from the ages of 30 to 35. Actually, it's also good because they help you like understand the language, and then they are easygoing, for real. Yeah.
That's very nice, very interesting.
Mm.
What did you learn from the Russians? Like from your Russian friends, was there like something that you learned or you like adapted from them?
Yeah, I think there's one thing that I've learned, which is being patriotic. Actually, Russians are the most patriotic people that you ever see on this planet. Whatever the case, they will never say a bad thing about their country. Unlike us Africans who will be bashing our politicians left and right. Like trust me, even me personally, I bash the politicians all the time. But Russians, they are like cool, they love their country, and then to them, whatever that is from Russia is the best.
Nice.
Whether it's from USA or whatever, they don't care. Theirs is the best. So they are, that sense of patriotism is something that I learned. I never used to appreciate where I used to come from or something, but right now I think even if I choose to like be born again, I always choose to be a Ghanaian. Trust me, that's one thing that I've learned.
So how many years have you stayed in Russia?
Well, currently six. This is my 6th year.
And do you go home every year?
Yeah.
How is it like for you when you go home every year? Like, do you have like any like emotions or like any new feelings
Like,
or maybe surprises?
like when I go home,
Yeah.
actually, when I go home, I don't get any surprises or anything because Africa, nothing like changes or anything. I quite remember the longest period that I've been in Russia and not gone home was from 2019 to 2022. So 3 years. And the roads that I left were the same roads that I came and met. But I spent like 3 weeks at home, and then when I came to Russia, there were like some little changes going on in the city and stuff. Like they were preparing towards summer, so things were like changing, unlike Africa. So that's it.
If there was what on, will you still come to Russia today, or will you prefer to go to another country?
Actually, I would like to answer that question in 2 ways. If the table were turned, would I love to study in Russia? Okay, fine. Let's put it in a situation where I'm in financially stable, right? If I'm financially stable to afford UK, Canada, or USA, sure, I'll go to UK, Canada, or USA. But if I'm not financially stable, like to afford the tuition fees of those countries, then I'll still choose Russia because when you compare, the education is still the same, but here you are getting it cheaper because cost of living is cheaper. But in USA, Canada, or the third one, UK, things are expensive and then cost of living is also expensive. So that's it. Yeah.
That's a very interesting answer. So you mentioned that you came to Russia in 2017
Yeah.
and you were 19 by then.
Yeah.
Were you scared when you come in?
Actually, when I was leaving, I was happy. I was happy because I was leaving the country for the first time and I was young. I was like optimistic. So, but the moment I came, I alighted at the airport. I looked around, I saw different letters, different alphabets. I'm like, oh my god, like for real. So I felt, I felt that nostalgia, like missing home and stuff. And then trust me, I cried for like 2 days when I
Oh my
came
god.
because I was hungry. I was hungry, and then I remember I brought gari or something like that. But I'm a meat lover. Like I love meat, so I didn't know where to get those stuffs. And then I was hungry, and I was asking myself, did they even send me to come here? But well, I was hungry. I think maybe I was just young, and then I was maybe homesick or something. But as time went on, I started liking the place, and right now, I think I'm cool. Yeah, I'm cool. But trust me, the first few months, it was really, really difficult. I used to call my mom every 5 seconds. Every 5 seconds, I would call her. Like even my friends were complaining, like, "Hey, why do you call your mom a lot?" Like it was hectic. Like I really missed home. But once you get comfortable, you're like, oh, okay. So you just feel okay.
So right now you are feeling at home.
Right now, yeah, I'm feeling at home. I
That's
would
like
say.
100% or how many percent?
Well, it depends. It depends. Like I hate winter actually. I don't like winter, but in summer, trust me, even if you want to take me to USA, I'm not going. I'm staying here. Yeah.
That's very nice. What were you doing in what are you doing in Russia as a graduate now? Are you able to secure a job?
Well, securing a job. Well, right now I've not secured a job in my profession, but I'm actually doing a whole lot of different stuffs. Like I would say Russia taught me a whole lot of stuff. Like when I was in Ghana, I didn't like used to work a lot like that. It was just my dad's business that I was just managing from time to time. But coming to Russia, I've learned how to do bartending, and then I've learned how to be a receptionist. I've worked as a waiter. So I'm just open to whatever opportunity out of the three that comes. Yeah, so right now I'm just doing bartending, but it's actually good for real.
That's really nice. I'm very glad that you obtained some new skills.
Yeah.
What was your expectations when coming to Russia?
Oh, the same expectation as
What was your expectations when coming to Russia?
well, I'll just let me talk from an African perspective actually. There's this saying in Nigeria, they say we go japa.
And what does that mean?
Japa means like to travel, like to go overboard or something. So we always say, like in Ghana, we say, country no my shit. Like the country is hard, like the country is hot. So for japa, it means you have to like go. And then when you leave Africa to a different continent, people are always thinking in maybe a year he's gonna be rich, or in a year he's gonna be something. So that was just what I had in my mind. In my mind, I was thinking maybe probably by now I'll be rocking shoulders with Bill Gates or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
And how is it now?
trust me, sometimes you need to cut your coat according to your size. You need to limit your expectations. But all the same though, like it's actually cool. Like for real, it's cool. It's cool to have bigger dreams so that you will always be working towards it. But in the long run, I would say I'm still young, and then it's doable. Yeah, so what I can say is the expectation is just like a normal African thinking of, making it big and then taking the family out of the slums, yeah, just the same expectation.
But is your life now a little bit better than when you came before?
Trust me, it's like trillion times better. I remember when I came, I was living in the hostel, and then there was this security woman. I think she used to study like my pattern of cooking.
Oh
She
my
realized I used to do spaghetti all the time, so she used to call me spaghetti boys. I'm like, what are you saying? So right now, like when I first came, because I wasn't working and stuff, to buy food of my own choice, even like let me say I meet a nice girl, like I'm a nice guy, I won't lie, I like us. when I meet a girl who has a nice ass and then I want to take her out to dinner or something, I'm like, I cannot afford it. So I'm always checking my account, like I'm checking to the penny, you get it. But right now, trust me, be it Kim Kardashian, if I decide to take you out, we'll go, we'll spend, I'll come back, I wouldn't feel anything. So technically, there's been a whole lot of changes actually, like for real. Yeah.
So what about like changes in the mindset?
Well, changes in the mindset. Actually, when I first came, all my friends who knew me were always saying Kadir will definitely return home when he completes school.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say, if I'm given the chance to interview myself, like myself when I was 19, I know I'll be saying a whole lot of rubbish, like, oh, when I finish, I'm going to Ghana, or when I'm done, I'm going to do this. I think I'll just say I used to think like a kid. Actually, I used to think like a kid. But staying here, spending all these years, it has opened my mind, like broadened my mind to a wider opportunities. And then I've realized like what I used to do was child's play. So my mindset has changed depending on how I used to view things and how I see things right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when I was 19, let me say, I used to see things in camouflage, but right now I see it in HD version. So sometimes, there's this saying actually, you can never take a village out of a village boy, but you can take the boy from the village. So since I've lived in Russia for quite some time now, you cannot take the Russia out of me, but you can take me out of Russia.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what I can say.
So, like, did you have any expectation about coming to Russia? Like, was it like, were you thinking on the things you were going to meet? Like, will you see everyone drinking vodka or the peers walking on the street?
like
How
the
was it for
stereotypes.
you?
I think there was this quote actually I saw. They said, not until 1990, vodka wasn't considered. No, sorry, not vodka. Beer wasn't considered alcohol in Russia.
Interesting.
So yeah.
So beer was like water?
Yeah. But when I came to, I realized why they made that code, because like Russians, oh my god, they can drink, like they can drink. I mean, drink as in drink. In Africa, we just take one shot or two shots and then we are like, oh, okay. But Russian can take like 6 shots and still be, looking at you like he's okay. So, and also the second stereotype was, about the beers and stuff. I was thinking maybe when I go, I'll see people riding on beers. I'm like, yeah, something like that. But when I came, I actually saw whatever that I used to read about their stereotypes back in Africa wasn't actually what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's the same way these white people view us. Some of them, like, there was one time someone asked me, like, do you have cigarettes in Ghana? I'm like, are you for real? Cigarettes? And so me being me, I'm always jovial. I was like, no, we don't have cigarettes. Actually, even if we want to like sleep, we have to climb the tree and go to like the last part of the tree where the leaves are plenty, so that we lay our mattress and sleep. That's a joke that I told. Yeah.
What were you disappointed in when you came to Russia? Or did your expectations meet your, how did they say again?
Like, did I meet up with my expectations?
Yeah, with your expectations.
That's an interesting question. Nothing really shocked. Well, okay. There is this thing. It's actually about the World War. Yeah. When I used to be in Africa, people used to tell me the US won the World War.
Mm-hmm.
But when I came to Russia, they told me the Russians won the World War. So I was like, so who really actually won? So yeah, like that was what shocked me. And then I realized there's been like books about it and a whole lot. So I studied it and I'm like, oh, so actually this is it. So that was what I was shocked about. And then their level of like exposure, like trust me, Russians are more exposed. When you look at it from a political view, it's like they are more or less isolated from the rest of the world. But trust me, even though they are isolated and stuff, they make their own aircraft, and then I think they have one of the best engineers in making aircraft and stuff. So like that's another thing that also shocked me. Not like these are Africans who we are always graduating with pastors and imams who are just lying to us. Yeah, so basically that's it.
Is there anything that you would change if you had the power to?
Anything that would change about me or
No, about like your life in Russia. Maybe about the school, about the hostel, the dormitory. Like in general.
I think the only thing that I would have loved to change would have been this law. I would have loved to pass the law for students to be able to work even back in the 2000s, not late in the 2021. Because some, like, you know, to come to Russia, you can come through two ways with education. It's either the government brings you. When the government brings you, that one, you can, you know, you are good. The government will be giving you money and stuff. But when you come on your own, that's when the problem sets in. You have to pay for tuition and a whole lot. But with the government scholarship, you don't have to pay anything. So I would have loved to change the law to fit all international students, not only Africans, but all international students, so that they can at least work and then meet up with their end meet.
But right now to this date, like the law have been changed.
Yeah,
Right?
it's been changed right now. Everything is going on normal. Everyone is working. But I mean, I would have loved to change it like
Yeah,
20
back
years
in
ago.
the days, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just to that.
Okay.
To the new law. Will you advise someone to come to Russia?
As I always say, it depends on the financial capability of the person. If the person, it's like more or less going to an iPhone shop with money that can afford iPhone 15 and then telling the owner of the phone that you want to buy iPhone 6. If your money can afford like higher countries, of course you can go. But if you want to come to Russia sake of maybe financial something, then sure, you're welcome. So I will advise the person based on the person's financial capability. Yeah.
So what if someone have already made up their mind to come to Russia? What would be your advice?
Please come, but be prepared. First year, you're going to feel it. When I say feel it, I mean feel it. Yeah.
What exactly are they going to feel? Is it the weather or the university?
there is this teacher who used to say, don't just pass through the school, but let the school pass through. Trust me, when you come, you are not going to pass through Russia. Russia will pass through you. So you are going to feel it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you have to take into consideration you are coming as a fresh meat. You don't understand the language, and then let's say you come, you have to learn the language, you have to make friends, you are like forgetting about everything. Things that you are comfortable with doing back in Africa. Right now, you are supposed to forget about everything and start afresh. You are like a newly born baby that was just delivered at the hospital. So that's how you are going to feel. But if you meet people who speak English, then life will be okay. But trust me, if you meet people like the ones that I met, they will always be saying privet, and you'll be looking at them. They will even be saying hi to you, and then you'll be thinking maybe they are insulting you. But aside those stuffs, like, Russia is actually a very lovely place. Trust me. Once you get like addicted, or let me not even use addicted. Let me say once you stay for longer, you start liking the place for how it is and how it presents itself to you. Yeah.
So like you advise like the person to go maybe to like Moscow where they speak more English, or to St. Petersburg, or to Kazan, like to the bigger cities.
Actually,
or maybe you're in Kaliningrad.
Actually, like, every city has its own up and downs. Me to be precise, I wouldn't love to be where there are a lot of our brothers and sisters, I mean Africans. I love to be in a place where the Africans are less.
Why?
Because less Africans, less problems, like, for real. Trust me, when there are a lot, it's either this one broke someone's heart, or this one stole this one, or this one is fighting with this one. But once like you are the only maybe black in your whole hostel, or maybe let's say all of you are not up to like 30 in your city, trust me, it's good. But when you are a lot, as the Nigerians said, now problem they come. Yeah.
That's very, very funny.
And also one thing about like the bigger cities is you getting job is actually very, very difficult, because there's a whole lot of people out there who are also looking for the job. But when you're in the smaller city, because they are not exposed, like your chances of getting a job that pays good and you living a comfortable life is like 1,000,000,000%. That's also another plus. And also, let's say when you're done with school and you want to do your documents, since you are living in a small city, it's actually easy to get those documents than you living in Moscow. Let me say Moscow, for example. There's about 20 million people living over there. So you can just imagine how many people like send their document to the immigration to seek for a permanent residency or something. But if you're living in a small city, your chance of getting it is like higher, maybe 3 times higher than someone who is living in Moscow.
So, what are the type of jobs you will advise like the newcomers that are coming to Russia to like look for?
Actually, if like you are a fresh person, let me say you don't understand any language, I would advise you to be working in these packaging places, like big shops like Azon or something like that, to be just packaging their boxes and stuff. But if you've been living for like close to 6 or 7 months and then you start speaking the language, you can do a teaching job, or probably a waiter or a waitress or something. Definitely, when you stay longer, the longer you stay, the more easier it's for you to like find a job to do. But once you come early, then that one, trust me, you're going to be used. Like, I mean, used. There was an incident where in 2018, I couldn't speak the Russian very good. I went to work for like a month, and then the owner just told me, "Ed," like it means go, and then he didn't pay me. I couldn't even like tell anyone, because first of all, it's illegal to work, and then second, in which language am I going to explain that I work and then this one didn't pay me? And also, you know the same way that this white people think we blacks look alike, that's how the whites also look alike. So I didn't know how to even point this guy, like this is actually the guy who I worked for. So those were the things that I faced. But
And you couldn't do anything about that
no,
situation.
I couldn't do anything. I just let bygones be bygones. That's one of the things that I'm trying to forget. Yeah, but works. The longer you stay, the more easier it's for you to find a job. But once you come, trust me, you'll be used. Like, let me just put it that way. You'll be doing shitty jobs, maybe working in a bakery or something like that. But once you understand the language, you stay longer, you'll know how to find jobs, and then you just know how to present yourself too. Or let me say, you know how to brand yourself.
Yeah, brand is very important. Thank you very much for that answer.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to send your children to Russia if you have any in the future?
Actually, I would, to teach them a lesson, of course. To teach them that, let me say in future I'm worth maybe a lot. I'll definitely still send my children to Russia, just to like straighten them up. I like how Russians actually discipline. Yeah, in terms of discipline, like you will be educationally disciplined. You will learn how to manage your time. Like, for example, I think back in 2019, 2018, we used to learn from 8 to 15 or 16. And then after that, I had to go and work from 8 in the evening to 8 in the morning.
Oh my
So
God.
you can just imagine, I just had that 4-hour difference. In that 4 hours, I have to cook. In that 4 hours, I have to eat. And in that 4 hours, I have to sleep.
Wow.
So it's really like taught me how to be time conscious. If like I really want my kids to like know the importance of time, I'll definitely send them here. But who knows?
So how did Russia affect you, or how did it change you for the good, for the better?
Russia actually changed me for the better, I would say. Well, when I was in Ghana, like since I used to stay with my family and friends, I knew even if I'm having a certain amount of money, when I spend it, the next day I'll get it. Be it from my dad, my mom, or friends or something. But when I came to Russia, it really taught me how to be money conscious. And then another thing is I stopped being idle. Like in Ghana, I waste time like it's not worth anything. But coming to Russia taught me how to be time conscious too. So those are the two things that I think has affected my life right now. And then in a positive way actually. At first, when I tell someone let's meet at 7, trust me, if you come there at 7, maybe you can't meet your grandmother.
African time.
Yeah, but right now when I say let's meet at 7, I'll be there probably 6:50 or something like that. Even be waiting for you. Yeah, so
That's really nice. I'm very happy for the positive changes.
mhm,
What's something normal in your country, in Ghana,
mhm.
that's not normal in Russia?
How about what's normal in Russia? That's not normal in Ghana.
Okay.
Smoking.
Uh-huh.
Smoking. You will see, like, to see someone with a cigarette, it's like trying to tell me. No, let me say it's like tasting to see if the Atlantic Ocean is salty. You get it? Like it's so easy, but in Ghana, people shy away from those things. Even if like you are selling a cigarette, you sell it at one joint like that. That it's very even difficult to find. Unlike here, that you just be standing there, you see someone smoking, and then you can't say anything because even if you want to say something, the moment you turn, you see someone also smoking. So what are you even going to say? Nothing. So smoking, I would say smoking. Yeah.
So, do you smoke?
No, I don't smoke. Actually,
Drink?
I don't drink.
That's really good.
I don't drink and I don't smoke, but actually I like girls who smoke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a fetish or something. I don't know. But I think girls who smoke or girls with tattoo are actually hot. That's what I think.
You said?
So, Kadir, how does it feel to buy a one-way ticket, leaving behind your family and everyone, your friends, and coming to a new country that you know absolutely no one, you don't know the language, you don't know what to like expect, like nothing at all?
Actually, that feeling is in two parts. Actually, one is curiosity, and then one is the sad aspect. Actually, you know, the emotional attachment that you are to these people will make you shed a tear or something like that. Definitely, I for once was like shedding a tear when I was at the airport. I had the chance of my brother escorting me to the airport, and then the curiosity aspect that I was saying was, you are so curious, you want to experience life in Europe, you want to know how it is, you want to know how everything is moving. Yeah, so actually it's curiosity and also sadness. That's the two things that I can say.
That's very cute, very sad. Do you have any regrets about studying in Russia, or do you morely see it as an opportunity?
Or in this life, they say whatever that life throws at you, you receive it with open arms. So I don't actually have any regret. Even if I did, I think I don't anymore. Well, I never did, so I don't have any regrets. Because let's look at it from a positive side. I've gotten my bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned a language again.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I speak English, French, Russian, and also Ghanaian language. So it's a plus. And yeah, and also I think I'm financially okay because my mates that completed high school with me, some of them once or twice will be texting.
You stop at your friend asking you.
Yeah, like the friends that I graduated high school with, most of them here or there will be texting you, could you please come through for me? I need this or I need that. I think if I had been in Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
my situation would have also been the same. Maybe even if I'll be receiving salary, it wouldn't be up to how much I'm receiving right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm like okay, but
Mm-hmm. But you're okay.
yeah, like I'm okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
So it's mostly as an opportunity coming to Russia.
Yeah, it was an opportunity. Like, even if I have that chance again, I'll still, go for it.
What were you actually scared of?
Well, every human being is scared of change. Like, for real, every human being is scared of change. Change in itself is actually a big, let me say, a huge thing. Like, we are all used to doing things in a certain way, or we are used to like staying or living in a particular life. So when like you travel abroad or you travel out of the country, you realize you have to change your ways, you have to change how you do your stuff.
The last question is, if you were given an opportunity to start a life at fresh from a plain paper, like, will you still come to Russia? If not, like, what will you do?
Yeah, I'll still come to Russia. Actually, it's worth it, and then I don't have any regret. So I think I'll still come to Russia.
So you're happy and you're like satisfied with your choice. You will not change anything.
No human is ever satisfied. There's this saying in economics: human wants are like unsatiable. It's wide.
It's like unlimited.
Yeah. So definitely there's always room for improvement, and that's what I can say. But for now, I don't think there is any regret or anything. I'll still come to Russia. Yeah.
That's really good. So Kadir, I'm so happy that you came. Thank you for coming to my podcast, my YouTube channel.
The pleasure is all mine.
And can you please say something in Russian?
Всем привет, это Kadir. И я сегодня с Тесей. Мы на ее подкасте разговариваем насчет жизни иностранного студента в России. Его плюсы и минусы.
That's very interesting. Your Russian is really good. So I'm so happy that you came. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're
Cheers.
welcome. Cheers. I think you should name your podcast Tea with Taste.
Yeah, tea with this.
All the tea will finish.